y'all, welcome back. How y'all doing? It's me, Eddie G, here with another brand new episode of Eddie G's Comic Culture. That's right, it's that time again, and actually, it's that time of year again because today is actually the 1 year anniversary episode of the show. I know I've been promising and teasing you guys throughout my social media page on Facebook and Instagram about how I'm really preparing to do this. And in all honesty, I had a lot of other I'm not gonna lie. I was really trying to prep something up real nice, considering it's been a year now since I've been doing this show. And I also had some personal struggles that have been going on that have been intervening with me making this show happen as frequent as I wanted to, as often as I wanted to. So, with that being said, I wanted to let you guys know to give you a bit of an insight. I know I've been a little, I know I've been lacking when it comes to keeping the content fresh and new. The reason for that being is, unfortunately, I am going through I'm going actually through a divorce at the moment. Um, so my personal life is definitely it's taking a few hits at the moment. I'm not getting into details. I just wanted to give you guys the exact reason as to what's going on right about now. But basically, yeah, it's taking quite a bit of my personal time, in all honesty, to do what I have to do. So, but with that being said, I'm here now. It looks like things are going. It looks like things about to. I wouldn't want to say going my way. They're not clearing up yet because we're still not out of this. But I'm feeling good. I'm in a much better place than I am. Than I am. I'm in a much better place now than where I was earlier on this year, when I was doing the episodes. And even then, I know even then, because the energy was so bad, I didn't want to go ahead and just put stuff out there that seems so half-assed and uninspired. So with that being said, I definitely wanted to get you guys on board with that. And just so you guys know, yes, this banging ass shirt that you see right here, I'm gonna pan the camera over to me right now. Yes, this is the content that I have been preaching to you guys about. Remember what I told you? The show's still sponsored by who? The great folks over at Black Apparel. That's exactly what this shirt is, baby girl, and boys as well. Don't take it personal. But this is exactly the finished product right here. This is the shirt that I've been dying to get my hands on. I saw it on their website. It is exactly descriptive of what I am going through right about now. In a nutshell, it literally says everything you need to know about my life in a T, and pun intended, to the T. But it's yes, it's definitely one of the other stuff. One of the many things you can pick up on their store. It's some of the freshest gear that you've got. I got another shirt also from these cats, so make sure you guys. I'm gonna keep you guys open on. Big shout out to Kevin C. Right, my brother out in up North Jersey, showing mad Jersey love. The entire tri-state, to all of my friends out there, and everybody who's attending New York Comic Con this weekend. I wish I was there with you guys. I'm there in spirit. It's been such a while. It's been 4 years since I've been to New York Comic Con. The last time I was there was in 2014. So seeing my friend, my homeboy Dennis Knight. He's still out in Comic Con right about now. Tomorrow's the last day. I don't know if you guys still have tickets. Make sure you check out his Facebook page. He's got his booth number there. I don't have the information with me right about now. As a matter of fact, let me do that for you. Let me see if you guys are in the area. I want you to check out some really good stuff, because you know what, I've been really getting into a lot of indie publishings as of recently. I still haven't picked up Cross Comics as of yet. I'm trying to find an outlet online, considering that I live in a rural area in Florida. They don't have it on mycomicshop.com, which is a bit it's a little frustrating, considering how my comic shop is one of the main places that I have now resorted to go to, and it's a beautiful website, by the way, for back issues. So but let me get into that right quick. He's he's got his booth going on, and he's got all of his issues on sale for you guys to pick up if you want to get signed. If you want to get it signed, it's definitely on deck. So yes, booth number 966. So if you guys are in the Javits Center this weekend, I know tomorrow's the last day, but make sure, if you want to see some cool indie publishing, this is at booth 966. You're gonna see my homeboy Dennis Knight. He's the writer of Cross Comics. He's been on Pronto Comics now for quite some time, a couple of years already. Make sure you show some love. He'll be there. You guys can talk. He loves interacting with his fans. So make sure you guys stop by the booth and hit him up. And also, Sending a special shout out to my boys out on Instagram, my Insta family, Wenzo Casio. Keep blessing us with the new content of his figures and statues are crazy. He was just selling his Mesco figures. I don't know if he actually got rid of them yet. If he still has some, if he still has any sales going on, I'll definitely let you guys know, so we could help out, because he's got some real awesome banging stuff. I mean, if I wasn't going through my personal shit right about now, I'd definitely be picking up a few things off of him. But I digress. Definitely make sure. So Wins the Collector. He's also got his Instagram page as well as a YouTube page as well. So make sure you hit him up. Blu-ray Dan, who's done a great, phenomenal journey of his weight loss. He's documented it on his YouTube channel as well as his Instagram page as well. So if you guys are checking him out, he's also got some banging reviews on movies, old and new, Blu-rays, great unboxings. He's just always he's got that trust me, he's got like I would say millions and millions of films. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm overshooting it right about now, but the way that, the content that my boy has on his page, man, trust me, I think he's got about millions, and he probably won't even know it yet. But either way, yeah, so make sure you show some love to those cats, and let's start the show on the road already. I know you guys have been dying. I know you guys have been dying to hear me talk what I need to talk. So, with that being said, I'm having this Heineken to celebrate this 1 year anniversary. Oh yeah. Let's begin. So, with that being said, a lot of stuff has happened within the month that I haven't been able, since the month that I've been here last with you guys. Quite a few things have happened. Let's talk. Let's see where to begin. Okay, let's start off with the big deal, the Henry Cavill. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Henry Cavill. It seems as though it will no longer be donning the Superman costume, for quite some time, if not ever. It's been pretty much confirmed that Warner Brothers doesn't have any current plans on releasing a solo Superman film in the near future. There's been some rumors here and there swirling around, and this is where the part about talking about DC films becomes very frustrating, because a lot of the shit that comes out pretty much is just generated through rumor mills and stuff like that, and I really don't care for it, because 9 times out of 10 you have to take a lot of these things with a grain of salt. A lot of them they just end up being bullshit. It's not really true, but whatever. But at this point in time, it really it took me for a shock that they decided that it happened the way it happened, how it happened. Obviously, like millions of other fans, I was upset. A lot of people were outraged, and I wasn't at that level. As much, and trust me, it's hard to believe saying this as a Superman fan, but I wasn't at that level. I loved Henry Cavill, for everything that it was worth, for all that it was worth. I thought he had a very he had a brand of charisma to him to bring to the role that made him look, it was a part of this, it wasn't just looking like Superman. You could tell by the way he was just restricted with the material that he was given, but he had the potential of actually owning this role and taking it to a next level, just taking it beyond the stratosphere and shutting down his naysayers and haters that have been pretty much against him, because a lot of the times, a lot of people have pretty much written off Cavill's acting as wooden. It's a little stiff or whatever the case may be. I never really got that from him. As I said before, I really just think it's the material that he has, and it's really restricting him to really flex his acting muscle and give him a chance to really own and make a stamp on this role the way he should have. A lot of people say that he did. Personally, I didn't see that. I don't think he got that chance to, even in those 3 films, because then his character was never fully fleshed out. His Superman was never fully fleshed out. As stupid as that sounds, and as ridiculous as it is to say that, his Superman was unfortunately not fleshed out properly. So, with that being said, he never really had the proper opportunity up until that Justice League movie that came out, where he actually managed to showcase the potential and the actual ability to become the real Superman that we know and love, not from the past films, but from the comic books that we grew up from reading. So, with that being said, it was pretty distraught. I was pretty upset that at the fact that that he just was no longer a part of the program anymore. And then what really got me was the sudden shift of supposedly Supergirl is now the main focal point for that, and that to me is just absolutely. I hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true. I hope that, and this is where the rumors start coming out, and this is. And this is where the shit just hits the fan because the rumors just don't stop. It's once it's one negative thing that comes out, it's a shit ton of it's like a horde of bad news just falling out of a dam after uh, you know after an atom bomb just got I know my description right now is insane, but it's just the way it happens, the way it works is just unbelievable. It's a cavalcade of bad rumors that come one after the other, and no confirmation, there's no validity whatsoever. But and what makes it worse is that even the studio doesn't do anything to blow that smoke out anymore. Like Warner Brothers doesn't seem to really give a shit about shutting those things down, which I would think they would do. Considering that they're trying to do something different with this current universe, with trying to salvage it from what it was. But a Supergirl movie right about now is definitely not the move. It's not the right time for it. It's not the right time for it. The universe hasn't even been set up properly. We haven't even gotten a sequel to Wonder Woman yet. And yet now you want to jump into this whole thing. And it's not just that, but it's just Wonder Woman and then the Birds of Prey. Why is the Birds of Prey coming out right now? Like, why are B and C tier characters becoming a focal point for future films for DC right now? That's not the way it's supposed to go. I would say that you want to redirect. If you're going to course correct this entire universe, you're going to really do it internally and work it from the inside out. You understand? By repairing what was broken. They didn't get to fully repair the Superman mythos the way they did with this incarnation. They didn't really at all. Regardless of what you say, no matter how many fans of this universe there is, I personally was just on the fence. The only real thing that they got that was good out of there, that was solid, was Wonder Woman. Man of Steel was okay, but it's not a real Superman movie. I'm sorry, Dick Splash is not something I hear in a Superman film. That's not even something you read in a Superman comic. Much less it shouldn't even be in a film in the first place. So that kind of dialogue right then and there just goes to show that it needed a lot to that property had a lot to go ahead to redeem itself. It really did. It was pretentious. It was shallow for a great point. For a great portion of the movie. It just wasn't. It wasn't what it needed to be at that time. So obviously, I would think, okay, let's refix. Give us. You didn't have to reboot it completely. They could have just done a soft recon. A soft retcon to the entire series. Set something up for a future Superman trilogy that actually is a Superman trilogy. People want the standalone films, and the standalone films didn't have to. Should be standalone exactly in itself. They should have their own universe. Whereas Batman is going to have his universe, Wonder Woman has her universe. Their own worlds. And I'm not saying in there. All you comic book fans know exactly what I'm talking about, what I refer to when I say that. So with that being said, flesh out your universe first with your main characters, and then branch out to the others. Then you can use that platform. You could use the main characters as with slight hints and slight and a lot of people saying, oh, they shouldn't have to do it like Marvel. Well, it's a little too late for that right about now, because they're 10 years deep in the game. Marvel's already passed is billions of dollars in on this universe alone in itself. So DC has a lot to pick up to learn from, because let's be real here. Whether you're a fan of the Snyderverse or not, things got fucked up, no matter how you look at it. So I would say flesh out the main universe first, and then we can branch out to the other lesser known characters to bring them out to the general audience, so the general audience can grasp and get an idea. Give them an introduction through the main characters in itself, so they can see, oh, so this person exists. Are they in the comic books? This, that, and then they can research and do whatever, and find out on their own. Which is, to me, the beauty of it, where you can find out about these characters on your own. That's the discovery. The magic lies in that. you know, and they're depriving these people of that by, not utilizing the film's division in itself properly for that, so they could use that platform. But it is what it is. It seems like they got their heart set on Birds of Prey and this, and Supergirl, and I doubt Supergirl is actually even on the discussion table for that. Oh, and and another rumor, Michael B. Jordan as Superman. Okay, really, really. So and then the funny part is that Warner Brothers actually entertained that ridiculous nonsense. No multiverse was introduced in any of the films so far. So now you want to put Michael B. Jordan as Superman? I think they're trolling the fans with this shit. I really think they're trolling the fans with this shit. I think they're looking at Michael B. Jordan, but not for Superman. I'm more than positive they're looking at him for Jon Stewart for Green Lantern. Flat out. Like, I believe more than I'm telling you guys right now, they're looking at him for Jon Stewart for Green Lantern. Because they got a lot of roles to fill for that movie. It's supposed to be Hal Jordan, Kyle Rayner, and I'm assuming Guy Gardner, and Jon Stewart is confirmed to be in the film as well. So more than likely, but you can bet your ass that if they're looking at Michael B. Jordan for any role right about now, it's got to be for Jon Stewart, nobody else. But as I said, this is the type of shit that Warner Brothers entertains, and they think it, and I think that to some degree they really think that it's good publicity. That was a thing that they decided to, they could have played that angle. That was an angle to play 30, 40 years ago when there was no social media around. That was an angle that they could definitely play in those times. But now, how can you possibly use that angle? Seriously. With all there is, with all the access to the internet alone, you could just go, like, seriously, how can you possibly really realize, how can you possibly think that that's just whatever, man? I don't know. Their marketing team is something else. However, I'll give them this. They did get a leg up in the game with that beautiful, beautiful footage for Aquaman. That 5-minute teaser trailer was absolutely, well, not a teaser trailer. That 5-minute exclusive footage trailer that they released yesterday was everything. Everything. I can't believe that this movie's actually happening. I cannot wait for December 21st. This is actually going to be the first time ever. I'm going to be very honest with you guys. This is actually the first time ever that I'm going to be I'm actually going to be in the theaters for the holiday season, because I am going to see the 40th anniversary release of Superman the movie on Thanksgiving. It's scheduled to be released on November 25th. We all know what day that is, what weekend that is. I'm going to the movies to watch Superman the movie. And on top of that, they're actually going to add the old Superman Max Fleischer cartoon where he fights the mechanical monsters, the robots, to play before the movie starts. So you better believe I'm going to be there for that. And then, of course, Christmas comes, and then there's Aquaman, and then plus Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was another fantastic trailer. By the way, I'm going to talk about the game in a bit, so make sure you stay tuned to that also. That looks like it's going to be a great fun time at the movies as well. I don't know if it's going to be an IMAX. I'm hoping it is, because IMAX just makes everything better to me, especially for visuals like that. If they're going to be doing for web swinging shots, that just makes the perfect sense to me. So with that being said, I'm definitely having my hopes up. I haven't seen Venom yet. I know it's been out this weekend. I know that the critics have been having their fair share of things to say about it. Alright. The word of mouth from other friends have said that the movie's alright, that the movie's actually pretty good. It's not the greatest movie in the book, but it's actually pretty good. I'm gonna actually see about giving a chance. I'm thinking about it. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if it's gonna be anytime soon, but I am going to give it a chance. My main concern right about now, my main hype level is for Halloween. Halloween is definitely going to be that joint for me to watch this month, because Jamie Lee Curtis is back. The word of mouth has been phenomenal about this film. It debuted in the Toronto Film Fest last month to rave reviews from critics. It's sitting at like a 92% on Rotten Tomatoes. This is this is unheard of for a slasher film like this. A slasher film does not ever get that sort of critical appraise, no matter what. And this movie did that. So with that being said, I am through the roof with excitement right about now for Halloween. I cannot wait to see Halloween. I love Jamie Lee Curtis. I love Judy Greer. Okay, I still haven't gotten for the rest of the cast as of yet, but Nick Castle, the returning shape from the original, from the first two Halloween movies, is returning to do some work on this film. So the excitement is just absolutely there. I'm curious to see how it's going to start, how it's going to take off. What kind of Easter eggs we're going to see, what kind of it's definitely leaving me up open for grabs to seeing what's going to happen. I cannot wait for Halloween, guys. Definitely. But yeah, and then on top of that, Alita Battle Angel is also one of my main things that I'm looking forward to. It's got that steampunk dystopian look towards. It kind of reminds me that that futuristic Blade Runner esque aesthetic, sort of, in a sense, but with a much more grittier, grimier look to it, and the cinematography, the visuals look great, even though it's based on an anime. But that's another one I'm actually interested in, looking forward to. Plus, it's Robert Rodriguez, king of B, well, not king of B movies, but he's definitely a good film. He's definitely a filmmaker I do like. I'm not gonna front. But that being said, Spider-Man for the PS4, I got that a month ago. Definitely an awesome game, guys. Make sure you pick. This is a fucking fantastic game. Excuse my French. This game. This game is the bee's knees when I tell you. Wow, what a game. The graphics are ridiculous. The graphics are so on point. It's not even funny. The near perfect recreation of Manhattan, the characters, the acting, the moves, the combat, the controls. I'm not gonna front. In the beginning, I was a little rusty. I was a little iffy on the controls because of the fact that I was still used to other control patterns from other games, like other open world games, and in particularly so the Arkham games, honestly. But after getting the hang of it, it's OD. I love it. I love the game. I'm 50% done. I'm trying to finish up as much as I possibly can before Red Dead Redemption 2 drops, because I'm getting that. But damn, this game is something else, and it's an original story with original new characters for a villain, guys. I don't want to give any spoilers away. It is a hell of a treat for you guys if you're a fan. If you're a Marvel fan, if you're a Spider-Man fan, obviously you need to get your hands on this game if you own a PlayStation 4. It is a must-have to your collection. When I say it's the best Spider-Man game ever created, it's the best Spider-Man game ever created. Better than the ones on, and I'm talking about the joints that was on PlayStation. Regarding the original Spider-Man films with Sam Raimi directing and Tobey Maguire. I'm talking about those games, and those were they were a pretty high standard of Spider-Man games as well back in there, back in that day. Definitely a product of their time, but they were held up as the gold standard of Spider-Man games. So when I tell you that this game blows that to shit, take that to the bank, because it's real. That game is official. Like, you will find yourself going through hours on that shit, and it's just unbelievable. From the backdrops to Manhattan to Grand Central Station. Shit, man, it's a hell of a game, and I'm not even finished yet, so I can't believe it. My two of my friends already finished it that I know, and they love the ending. They felt 10 out of 10 automatically. 10 out of 10. My only complaint about the game is Mary Jane. Her character is for some reason very annoying in this game. I found her to be very annoying in this game. They try to make her like a cutting edge Lois Lane / Vicky Vale / I don't know what they did. They did something with her character in the game. It did not mesh well with me at all. I thought it was a poor knockoff of other characters, of other comic characters before her. Why didn't they just stick with her as a regular model, like they did from beforehand? Like, that made no sense. Like, all of a sudden now she's a reporter for the Daily Bugle. I'm trying not to give away. I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. But she was just altogether like I didn't like. I wasn't too crazy about Mary Jane in the game, you know. But for the most part, like I said before, the game is a fantastic game. Definitely something for you guys to have. And if you're a Spider-Man fan, if you're a Spider fan altogether, make sure you have this in your collection by at least yesterday. That's all I'm saying. So, with that being said, um, I know I'm jumping all over the place right about now, guys. It's a lot to talk about. But I did want to talk about. Oh, I bought since the release of Halloween is coming up, and since the release of Halloween is coming up, and I did speak about it, I did purchase um, the original Halloween 2, not the one with not the Rob Zombie garbage. Don't get me to don't confuse me with that. I do not love those. I hated both of those movies. I hate that. I'm sorry to tell you know, and you know, despite Rob Zombie's music, his filmmaking, his work on the Halloween franchise was definitely not something I was a fan of. So with that being said, I literally right now I don't even consider them as Halloweens. I bought the original Halloween 2, which was released in 1981. And I want to give a quick review for you guys. And because at this point about now, with the new Halloween movie coming out, it's retconning everything. The other, once that movie's out, the other sequels are no longer a canon. They're no longer canon now. Now that the movie's already fully edited and cut and ready for release. But considering the fact that the original Halloween was such a huge phenomenon, and a huge phenomenon, and it still is to this day. Seeing that this new movie's coming out and it's going to make some definite changes is really exciting for that. So with that being said, here's my review for Halloween 2. So the movie starts off literally, which I found very exciting. Well, not exciting. I loved the fact that the movie started off directly right where the first film left off, which was Michael getting shot off the balcony by Dr. Loomis, and Dr. Loomis running to the balcony only to find that the body's no longer there. The movie takes off from there on in, and all hell breaks loose as Michael manages to slip away and walk around the streets of Haddonfield yet again. And as he's walking through the backyards of these houses, it's one of the main things about this is one of the main things about Halloween that really made me such a fan about this character. Michael Myers has this wonderful ability, and they always showcase this in the movie so well, that he hides in plain sight. Everyone is wearing masks. Everyone is wearing a costume, so nobody could really give a second thought as to who's walking around with a regular mask like that in a mechanic jumpsuit. So with that being said, this movie definitely plays off of those strings. It definitely plays off of the strengths of the first film, as using the dark cinematography, the gritty night street lights, and using that fear factor from the first film in this sequel again, which was I thought it was utilized pretty well. Obviously, it wasn't received too well by critics, but I felt like it was the most worthy follow-up that there was of its time. Jamie Lee Curtis returns to the film, as well as Donald Pleasance, to play Dr. Loomis, and at this point in time, this is a film that really that really sets the shit in stone by having Laurie Strode related to Michael Myers, and for the first portion of the film, it starts off, it's still in Haddonfield, but then, oh, excuse me, and then it goes into Haddonfield's hospital, and so that's where, because obviously that's where Laurie Strode is staying after the attack from Michael Myers. Um, in that meantime, Michael is hacking and slashing his way through Haddonfield again, looking for her, finding out where she's located, and seeing what's going to happen. Now, the sheriff's department, Sheriff Brackett, is still with Donald Pleasance, Dr. Loomis, in the beginning of the movie. However, that shortly changes after word naturally gets to him that his daughter was one of the victims, and which leaves Dr. Loomis with the other sheriff. I forgot what was that guy's name. I know I'm cheating right about now, going through IMDb, guys, but at this point in time, I'm just, Saturday night. And my level of giving a shit is, at a zero. But yeah, I have no. I think is it a gram or some shit. I have no idea. Anyway, well, never mind. That's neither here nor there. So that sheriff, the guy, that's he starts roaming around Haddonfield, and he's rolling with him. That's his roadblock in this movie. He's breaking down to him all the situation, the whole situation, the psychological factors of Michael Myers, the dangers, and then so on and so forth, which isn't bad, but it becomes a little bit repetitive because then he's famous for he's famous for his quotes. You don't know what that is, and he has the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, and it's more of that. Speaking more of those, speaking more in those. God, I'm like lost right about now, guys. It's like at the same, like I'm brain farting and wanting to speak, and I got so much to say at the same time. So it's like like my brain is a little scrambled on that shit. But it's definitely like one of those. It's not a bad. It's definitely a pretty badass flick. It's an awesome '80s horror film. It's a slasher. It's obviously the change in the theme song goes from the original piano to the synthesizer now. So there's that. But the few things that I didn't like in the movie were certain characters. The EMS drivers, for some reason, were characters in the movie, and one of them happens to be a love interest for Laurie Strode, and the other guys the other guys are a total. He's just a total dick. He spends his time screwing around with the nurses and the candy stripers in the hospital or whatever, trying to get laid, and he's actually one of the funniest. Well, I'm gonna throw this is my only spoiler, but he's actually the funniest. I was glad when he got axed because he was the funniest out of all of them. He got what he deserved any old way, but the way he got it was definitely, that shit was classic. I loved it. It was that shit was fucking golden. So I'm not even gonna lie to you on that. So, but his character was definitely like and you could tell he was just a filler character just to be another body to die. Plus plus the security guard, the hospital security guard, another useless character. Typical, overweight and jolly bastard, but who doesn't serve, who isn't worth a shit when it comes to protecting the ones he needs to protect. And there was a few characters. There was another nurse in the movie that I wasn't too crazy about either. But all in all, it was actually a pretty good film. I think it was a pretty decent follow up to the first one. It's not as good as the first one. That's never gonna happen. Except like I said, this new sequel coming out might be that mind changer, but who knows? But the original part two, the original sequel to Halloween, it's definitely not superior in any way, shape, or form, but it is something that it gives a lot more substance. And as I said before, it is a pretty decent follow up to the original. I wouldn't consider it a great film. I would say maybe about 3 stars at least, and it's a good way to pass some time. It's not a bad time to have at all watching. So there are other worse horror movies out there. There's worse Halloweens out there, honestly. but I think Halloween 2 really holds up well for what it's worth. And you could see some of as a matter of fact, if you saw the last trailer, the most recent trailer for Halloween 2018 coming out, you'll see some of the Easter eggs from part 2 in that movie. In the trailer, you can notice that. And definitely make sure you check it out. So with that being said, guys, I'd like to thank you for tuning in once again. I'm about to close this episode out. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for hearing me out. If you have any questions, comments, or opinions, make sure you hit them up on the section right down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. I want to know what you guys are talking about, if you agree or disagree with me. Don't forget, please, to make sure you check out that website, www.blackapparelblk.com. They've got some fresh gear coming out pretty soon. My boy Kev is always keeping his Facebook live with that stuff, so make sure you swing by and pick up something real nice. Like I said, this is where I got my banging new tee. I love this t-shirt. Let me tell you, some graphic tees are like one of my kryptonites. And this right here literally explains everything in a nutshell. What my life is going through right about now. The whirlwind, I guess you could say. But it is definitely a badass shirt. And I got the other one I'm going to show for the next episode. I'll probably start teasing that on my Instagram as well as Facebook pages as well. So with that being said, I'm hoping you guys are having a great Saturday night. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. If you're watching the Conor McGregor fight, you know, please drink responsibly. But, you know, yeah, because I'm at home right about now. But please drink responsibly. And as I said before, I'll see you guys around. Make sure you have a great one. Stay safe, stay blessed. Peace and love.